floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless. Burning the bridge that keeps us. I'm here and I'm feeling fearless. Exaggerated, that's what you assume. The story's over now, I must conclude. I am conflicted, watching where I step still, hanging in the balance. Not the life I want to live, I want to take it all. Standing tall, fear I've weighed the person you are. Oh, break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless.
Hello, welcome. For today's video, I want to be talking about aesthetics. 7 things you can do in quarantine and out to achieve the most aesthetic physique as a natural, in my opinion. For me, I made a couple of mistakes because I always followed these fitness gurus who I didn't know at the time were on steroids, and a lot of traps that people fall into are because they do these tips that those on steroids would do. So what these tips are for is those of you who are like me, who want to get in shape as a natural and have the most aesthetic look for summer or for whenever. So moving in to number 1. The first thing you can do to achieve an aesthetic physique is incorporate unilateral exercises into your workouts. Now what I mean by this is a lot of people will do many exercises with both hands, both legs, and unfortunately because of this there is normally an imbalance of symmetry in size or strength of muscles on one or other side of your body. Now this actually happened for me for about a year ago now when I was bench pressing, and my left arm gradually got stronger than my right arm because I noticed that my left arm was actually doing a little bit more than my right each time. So therefore, you know, my bench press was really wonky, and as you can see in this clip here, it's you know, it's awful. So what I would say to fix this is by implementing these unilateral exercises. If you are doing a lat pull down, for example, which requires 2 hands, do one-handed exercise. Or if you're like me doing the bench, switch to dumbbells. You can test this by only being able to do 7 reps on your right arm, but then on your left you can do 5. You make it 6 so that you know you get an equal balance, and then hopefully it will bring back the symmetry. The second thing that I can recommend if you want to achieve an aesthetic physique is having that very broad shoulder, slim waist look. Now what I mean by this is a lot of people when training their shoulders, and more specifically only focus on the front delt, which is used the most in bench presses and overhead presses and things like that. I see loads of people at the gym, when they're bench pressing, they get up and then they pick up some dumbbells and they do some front raises. In fact, if you're doing that, one, it's not necessary, and two, it's not good for you. And if you keep doing that, and if you don't train your side or rear delts, you could actually get terrible posture, hunch, and eventually you will get injured. So what I can recommend to fix this is, if you want that wide, chiseled shape, side lateral raises, and more specifically exercises that focus on the side and rear delts, because they will give you that kind of cannonball wider illusion. Coming on to my third tip, having that small tapered waist. The small waist can only really be trained through abs and through your obliques, and when you train that over time, a lot of people say that abs are made in the kitchen. I would disagree. I think abs are made in the gym, and as a result they are produced in the kitchen if you eat well. So as long as you train your abs and your obliques successfully, you should follow on from that really slim tapered look. Coming on to my fourth tip, being training your lats. Now your lats are located in your upper back, and the best exercise for me personally to do is pull-ups, because pull-ups will really give you that broad shape from the back, and like the shoulders, it will give you that strong width in your appearance. So that's always a good thing to consider. The fifth thing that you can do to achieve an aesthetic physique is work on that upper chest. The upper chest is what really gives you that broad illusion, and works really well, complements really well with the shoulders, because it really looks like you've got that kind of armor plated look up here, which in my opinion is really aesthetic. So by training this, you can train this through lots of incline chest exercises such as bench press, dumbbell press, and even flies, all sort of things that you can do to create this. My sixth tip for achieving an aesthetic physique is getting a tan. Now, it's very hot at the moment, so there's no excuses. If you go and get a tan, you will look slimmer. And I don't know what it is, something about tanning, and when you're darker, you look leaner. So that's an amazing thing you can do, and when I think you look leaner, you look more aesthetic. Leading on to that, the last and final tip is, if you look leaner, you will look very aesthetic, and it will look very good in my opinion. But that's obviously subject to interpretation, more so with legs, because personally I would aim for defined legs if you want that aesthetic look, so you can really get that triangle shape. I personally don't think big legs on guys looks very good, and I think that really having those defined muscular legs really looks a lot better. By incorporating all those tips, hopefully you should be able to do most of them in lockdown, given the situation is not ideal. They have worked for me, and they continue to work for me, but currently I am a bulk, so I'm not going to be cutting down, doing all of those things. So that is that. But thank you for watching, and I'll catch you again soon.